Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020 Career Mode episode 115. We enter the dossier period, and here's our first setup. Of course, we want to get Vermark back, so we focus on that. We'll commit some points to that. There's other team members that we might want to re-sign as well, so we'll have to look at that in the next dossier period. The achievable target, Van Veenendaal, a 76 overall, so he might cost a bit, but not crazy as long as that hasn't gone beyond the 76 he's at now. And he's high potential classics rider. Bloom Levy, an 82 cobble rating, maybe a bit over the price range, but we'll give it a shot. He's low interest right now, so we're not sure we'll get that high enough. And then two out there targets that I'm assuming we won't be able to afford. However, interest is relatively good, and it was only 3 points each. Burdensholt is a classics guy, but not with cobble rating. Fenn is a sprinter, both young. I've targeted them in past seasons. I think that might be why it's a little bit cheaper now, as I had already committed to that. So we're just kind of bringing them back along. But my oh my, if I would have been able to sign those guys in the past, what a grab that would be. But there's our first set. It's only 5 players we're targeting right now, and we'll see what we can do with it. It's going to be a strange year for that. Confirming those dossiers. Looking at our contracts real quick, this is what we have. So for Mark expiring, Carlos de Melo, I absolutely want to get back, so we'll have to take a look at that one next time. Denny Ginn, I'd like to retain for the right price. It's $4,200 now. If it's similar to that, then we'll re-sign him. He's a good poor man's GC guy. He's been our leader on a number of occasions, stepped up when he was on Fitness Peak and others weren't, and otherwise is a decent support rider. Bottom of the list, though, don't care too much for this large number of expiring contracts, by the way, but Telford we probably need to keep because of the classics, and Jorgensen, unless we can find better for the same price, which is minimum. I should be able to get them back for minimum. Johnson is climbing and climbing only. He does nothing else. Maybe we hang on to him if it's minimum, because I'm not sure how much better I'll find out there. Berwick is low potential, has not developed, already 26, is nowhere near as good of a climber as Johnson, even though they have the same overall rating. So Berwick probably gone. Killen's probably gone. Eric Butt we might retain because he's punchy, but he's a really, really poor climber. And so we might end up letting him go as well. I'm not sure how much he will develop, but that's quite a few expiring contracts this season. And certainly a handful of those will be gone. We'll retain some. Carlos de Melo has gone from the lowest on the entire team when we signed him 3 seasons ago to now one of the highest on the team. He's one of those 7 or 8 potential kind of guys, and he's starting to live up to that. He went from, I don't know, what was he, 65, a 66 when he signed him, and already a 74. Of course, though, that does use up a lot of the development he has, but he is far from done developing, so absolutely want to retain him. The only one who's going to cost a lot is Vermark. He's already at 16,000. We re-signed him at a 75, 76. Hasn't developed much since then. He's nearly done. On that growth chart, he might hit a 78. I don't think he'll get much better than that. So as long as he's not crazy expensive, we'll re-sign him. At the very least, we'll replace him with one of those other guys. Next up for us is the Giro d'Italia. It's a week away on paper, but we'll get to that in just a moment. We need to finish in the top 5. But we have Pablo Rodriguez. It's easier said than done, getting a top 5 in a Grand Tour. But this is the year that I think we're probably capable of that. Stage 1 of the Giro is a time trial that has a decent flat section, but it goes into a very steep climb. So the climbers right now are definitely leading the way on the timesheets at the end and not the time trialists. You can see Denny Ginn, who is a combination. He's a 77 in that time trial today, a 77 in the mountains today. You can see just how steep this is, 16.5%. That's insane. That is quite the climb that we are into here. I've also kind of mastered the pace by now. That's 73 right until the end, depending on the rider. 6th place for Ginn, 27 seconds off the pace. Johnson, Killen, Millar, all up there on time as my climbers. For Mark, he'll be a domestique for this race. We also brought Gazzoli as the team's Italian representation for this one. He would have been very upset to not be here. He'll serve as a domestique as well. He's not going to do much with this one, so we'll speed past him onto Carlos de Melo, who has grown significantly in his role. You can see a 73, not quite going to get Gazzoli to the finish. He's 2 minutes off the pace already. So De Melo is getting fairly balanced. His time trial is pretty good. His mountain is okay. He won't do great here. I'd probably place him just inside the top 40, maybe about a minute behind McNulty's time of 13:51. I'm hoping Rodriguez can grab a top 10 time, which would give us a pretty dang good start to this thing. There you go, 40th place at the time check for De Melo. Flying past the rider he's up against there. So that's a good sign. 500 meters to the finish. You can go a little harder here, just a little. 33rd, okay. Better than expected, 53 seconds down. Finally, Rodriguez. And we're getting into all the team's GC leaders. So we're going to see a lot of new top 10 times. Surprised McNulty went as early as he did, as he would be the inevitable leader. 80 time trial and prologue, 82 mountain. Rodriguez should be top 5 realistically here. In fact, I'd probably place him above Evenepoel, meaning he should be top 3 compared to these guys. But at number 191, as this is our first time in a few seasons at the Giro, we've got a low number placement. There's a lot of big riders still to go after us, 19 to be exact. So we ride 74 the whole way with Rodriguez because he's built for this. Make a good time. 9th, just 6 seconds down.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with percentages.
That's Rainsford, but that's the sprinter Rainsford. We're going to fly past him. 1K. I think you can go a little bit harder here. I think we might have gone a little too hard. Got to get you to the end. Got to get you to the end.
That's a best time.
Top time so far. Just level on McNulty, but just ahead of him. There you go. I was saying he should be right around that time of McNulty and Bookman. He beats Barrow by 1 second. We'll see if that holds up, but that should stay near the top. Here's Mikkel Björg, who was fantastic in the first sector, but he's only a 72 mountain. He'll be well down. 31st. Paulus, great climber, but the time trial part, he lost 20 seconds there. He finishes 31 behind. That's Pedersen. Getting passed by Trentado, who's an 81 mountain. You can see just how big of a difference that mountain rating makes. He's only a 72 time trialist. 67 prologuer. 20 seconds down is all. 6th place. Here's Caden Groves. He's not going to do anything. What about Schrin? Schrin's not going to do anything. Rubio. Rubio's an 80 mountain. He'll make up some time. 43 seconds down. Rivera. Oh, Rivera just went top. Kevin Rivera just went top on same time. Safanov, 6th. Pogacar. It's not going to be a stage win for us, but we'll be up there. 9th, 21 seconds. Sivakov. goes top by 11 seconds. He's going to have a huge advantage. Here's Bernal, second place. We slip to fourth. Mark Hershey, surprising how good of a time he's able to manage there. Chomillas is going to be way behind, minute 53. There's Umberto Zeta, minute 5 for him. Yermakov just went second right behind him. So we slipped to 5th place, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Vanderpool, number 1 jersey, that's going to do it. 88th, minute 45. So it is 5th place for us. Make that 4th on countback. They put us ahead of Rivera. So 4th place. Just 12 seconds off of Sivakov's time. Yermakov just 2 seconds down. But then it's very tight with Bernal, Rivera, McNulty, Barrow, Bookman at 19. And then it opens up a little bit of a gap, 29-30. So we've got a small advantage over the majority of the GC guys. And we're only a dozen seconds behind 2 contenders. We move forward to stage 4 after 2 sprint stages. And this one is just a punchy finish, and there's not much to it. I mean, it's nearly enough for the sprinters to be there. It's gonna have to be made challenging in order for it to not come down to the sprinters and actually come down to a puncher. But of course, final kilometer is steep enough that ultimately a puncher should have it. There's the end of the breakaway. We still have 19K to go, but we're about to start that climb. So it's time to make life hard enough to make sure the sprinters don't steal this one away, as all we have is Gazzoli. Gazzoli actually looking pretty decent with that. He's a 69 mountain, 70 hill today. Good resistance. I'll actually give him maybe a shot in this one. For Mark, though, on a +3, 84 hill, why wouldn't you go with that? 79 acceleration, late move. So maybe Gazzoli follows Vermark, and then Rodriguez follows Gazzoli, gets the free toe. We don't want to use him up in this. Millar is looking incredible today with a +5. By the way, here's our team situation for this race. Here's the riders. The only ones that have any sort of race day condition bonuses, everybody's well fit. It got the rest they needed before this tour so they don't get fatigued. Everybody's well fit, but because the Giro and Tour de France fall into the same window in preparation, most of these guys are preparing for the Tour de France as their objective. Pavel Rodriguez specifically. So the only guys that are at this race with any sort of bonus, it's Denny Ginn. Denny Ginn has this as his objective. Sits on a +2. Vermark is coming in on a fitness peak, so he's got a +2. That's it. Other than that, we are totally neutral across the board, meaning that top 5 is made a little bit harder. Looking at the teams and what they brought, there's a dozen or more 80+ mountain guys. Not all of them are great time trialists, but there's a dozen or more 80 mountain guys. This is going to be a difficult top 5. Really difficult top 5. 19K to go. It's a little early to be going hardcore, especially with some uphill to come. We'll go with about an 88 here for a little bit. Already established our sprint train. And now we're establishing a front position. This is where things are going to start to get difficult for those behind us. But you can see Carlos de Melo not hurting anyone other than himself.
They really are moving. The pack can't get strung out too far, or it's going to start breaking up.
Go slightly harder here. 13K now. Get David Killen ready to go. Okay, now we're actually climbing. And now the other teams are coming and attacking. Hershey, Oliveira. That makes sense. That's your punchy classics type guys. Others are attacking, so Lair, McNulty, no, they're responding. Yermakov, they're trying to cover off this attack. Meanwhile, so are we. But we're doing it in a bit more of a sheltered type way. 10K. We've only used up one rider so far. Those guys weren't counting on our strategy for the day. And they're done. They're not going to contend. Shame for Hershey because he's very punchy. Alright. Killing. 7.2. We're about to go over the top. He's not good downhill. Who is good downhill? Let's go ahead and go a fraction longer. We're going to switch Ginn and Johnson. And then Ginn's going to take over. Johnson's gel kicks in. That's okay. 6.7. We're going to go over the top. And now it's going to be Ginn taking over. Use his gel. And we're going to push this downhill section as hard and as fast as we can, which is going to stop anybody else from getting close. It's a shame that Killen is somehow still going that quick. 3K to go. Just like that. So Ginn, sprint. Johnson, your turn. 1.6. I missed the gel. It's too late for these guys. 1.4. Millar for Mark. Yeah, okay, we're fine, we're fine. This is where I wanted to be. I forgot I've got guys in tow. Rodriguez, Gazzoli. Okay, 500 meters. These guys have been sprinting. Look who it is. Those guys have been sprinting throughout. So here's a chance for Vermark, for Gazzoli. Looks like Vanderpool's going to take the win, I think. And we're going to get maybe second unless Vermark fades before the line. I think he does. So Hershey hangs on to second. Vermark takes third. Gazzoli fourth. Rodriguez gets seventh on the stage. Full Peloton intact, so no time gaps. Vermark gains a few seconds. Doesn't mean anything. None of the top three hurt the GC situation. Rodriguez had a tiny bit of sprint left in him, but doesn't matter. He was just there for the free toe. He wouldn't have moved up any. Somewhere between stage 1 and 5, this happened. Pavel Rodriguez, a 79 overall. 82 mountain, so he adds another point there. I think he added one to time trial as well. Resistance now a 77. I think recovery still at 76. But yeah. Yeah, Rodriguez just got even a little bit better. Considering he's not on a fitness peak here, not on an objective here, that he's going to have to rely on neutral. This is a big help. This is a very big help. Following another sprint stage, we move ahead to stage 6. We also move ahead to the late part of the stage, 36K to go. Pretty hefty climb. This is supposed to be a punchy stage. Not too many punchers are going to be left, especially if they're not very good climbers. For Mark is not a very good climber, so you would expect he won't be in it today, but he, the only rider on the team with a good race day condition, +4, gives him a 75 mountain and 84 hill, plus lots of bonus stamina and resistance that will give him a chance to hang on. So, for Mark, 85 is not going to be enough. He's going to have to ride about an 87 with that kind of rating. Most everybody else for the majority of this climb will just ride in regular support. Gazzoli's not going to last long at all, so let's go ahead and get him gelled up. Ginn on a -2. That's a -4 draw today because he's supposed to have a +2. He's got objective and favorite race or something like that. That's why he's got a +2. Johnson's hanging in there. Carlos Melo's nearly done. Killing. Okay, 10K to go still on this climb. We're only not quite halfway. Breakaway's done. 165 riders. Rodriguez hanging on just fine. Vermark's hanging on fine. Vermark's still got the energy. Millar's doing fine. He is blinking red just a little bit. We're seeing a little acceleration. Cosnefroid. Let's get 87 for you. Johnson's not doing as well today. He's on his -2. He's only got a 68 resistance. Bernal, Bardet. I mean, this is GC guys trying to attack. But it's getting pulled back together. Still 148 in the Peloton, which is why I know it's a little ridiculous that they're attacking this early on. Carlos de Melo Gazzoli already gone. Sprinters are out. Again. Killen on their way back. Those guys all set. Now, Johnson's actually just hanging on here. I don't think he's going to last much longer. Millar will last it out. Holy cow, Rodriguez. Really? And it's Vermark. Vermark's the one who's doing really well. He might have to protect Rodriguez, though we're about to hit the top. It's 1K. 1K to go from the top. Johnson dropped. There's the top. No break. 50 left in the Peloton. Millar, go ahead and protect your team leader. Vermark will be used if we need to. We are not focusing on the stage. We're focusing on the top 5. So Vermark, probably going to need to protect. One last little steep section here. And we're seeing accelerations.
A rider is down.
Vermark, you know what? We can't attack realistically, can we? Oh, Rodriguez gets caught behind Manea, who's going backwards, and Rodriguez is done. So Vermark, here's the top. Here's the top, though. 1, 2 riders going away. It's Bernal, it's Yermakov, it's McNulty, and now Vermark, 6K to go, is going to have to try to pull back Rodriguez. Can you pull him back? Can we keep this from...
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
2 riders away. That's 19 chasing 2. Rodriguez hanging on towards the finish. Vermark still has a chance on this stage. One rider left away. That's Yermakov going for the stage win. Vermark. Rodriguez is here. He's okay. Maybe. Yermakov. Chumias takes second. Vermark gets third. Another podium for him. Pogacar, Mataway, Muska, and hopefully Rodriguez does not lose any time. If he does, it's a matter of seconds. Yermakov was a few seconds ahead. This is 25 seconds. 25 seconds for Rodriguez, 21st, right there with McNulty, main contender. He might lose a few seconds on that one. That's not terribly worrying. What is worrying, though, is he had that little energy left on a 0 race day condition, which with his fitness, he still had a +1 to his resistance, yet he struggled that much. Vermark, who's a terrible climber, not terrible, okay, very mediocre climber, 70 base, +4, was really strong there at the end and certainly could have contended for the stage win and nearly did. I mean, he got a podium despite supporting Pavel Rodriguez there. But there was also nobody else besides Vermark who was in good condition today. Little unlucky on that part, considering we should be seeing a +4, and that was a negative. I don't know exactly what the count was. No time loss. No time loss. He gets same time. Good. Ooh, okay. Okay. 43 seconds to the next group. Millar loses a little time. Sivakov, Tantoni lose time. Here is how Tantoni's looking, by the way. He's still just a 78, 80 mountain. Really hasn't changed much since we lost him 2+ seasons ago now. Trentadou lost time. Bardet lost time. Conchi, Safonov. It's a lot. Lopez all losing time. So here is the new GC picture as we go to wrap this episode up. Yermakov leads the race overall. What was his time bonus? Just the 10 seconds. So we got close enough to him that it was just the 10 seconds for winning the stage. So Yermakov leads the overall. Bernal 18 seconds behind second place. McNulty, Rodriguez, and Rivera all still on same time. Brian Barrow 1 second back. Then things are already starting to open up. Evenepoel at 38. Pogacar at 42. Soler 44. Sivakov now outside of the top 10, but still within a minute. Paulus, Simon Yates, we haven't even seen him. He's still in contention, 56 seconds. How's he looking? 33 now. Still a good climber, but he's started to deteriorate. He's not as strong as he was a couple seasons ago. A lot of guys starting to lose time and slip back. Minute and a half. It's still close, but we still haven't had any proper mountain stages. So, and it was a very short prologue-ish type time trial. It was what, 12K, 13K, 16K, whatever it was quite short. So that's 6 stages in the book. We are in our top 10 position that we need. Top 5 position that we need for now. We do have another proper time trial coming up in just a little while, stage 9. We've we've got an moment. Let's check our profile. So stage 7, this is the next stage. That's not too worrying. I think that'll leave sprinters behind, and this will make it for punchy finishers. But we shouldn't have any problem losing time with Rodriguez on a stage like that. Visually, looking at this, I think some sprinters might have a hard time. But as it's classified flat, no time gaps will be as long as we quick sim. Another time trial with climb, helping the non-time trialist climbers stay close. 34K though, much longer than the other one. Punchy, big climb though, very big climb. Time, 32K, that they might be able to pull it back if they're close. I'm not sure they will at that steep. That's 8.5K, but it's max 15, average almost 10%. There's where the GC is really going to start to be decided, is stage 13 and 14. 15's pretty punchy, but you could see small group for that one. 16, another huge climbing stage. 17, not as decisive, but will have an impact. 18 on the flat. 19, not a major one, but it's definitely a hefty climb at the finish. 20, the group will whittle out through those first 3 climbs. The last climbs aren't as bad, but they'll be pretty fatigued. Well, you'll get a bit of recovery here, but the how many climbs it is will do damage. 197K as well. And then just that for your finish. Is that it is. It's time trial. So, interesting profile. There's not much left for sprints. We're really just getting started. There's a lot to come. This is not an easy Giro compared to what is normal for the Giro, which is certainly less than what the Tour offers. But the Giro, I know in the last couple of seasons, has tried to emulate the Tour a bit more, and this certainly looks like one of those type of profiles. Rodriguez now hitting a 79. We're already looking a lot better for next season, as we had a 78, 77, 76, average just over 77 for our top 3 guys. And then we just made it World Tour. Now we have a 79, if we don't count for Mark, 77 and 76. So we're already slightly better, even if we lose for Mark and don't find a replacement. Of course, I do expect that if I lose for Mark, I'll have a replacement from one of those other guys that we are looking to recruit. So counting that, if you take, like, say, a 78, a 79, 78, 77, that's 78 average. That's a full point better than we were a season ago. That's still not top World Tour, but that should be safely World Tour instead of just squeezing your way in And that's not counting if anything happens again with Wykankis, which I doubt. He's already leveled up this season. And what, 5? He's gained 5 levels in the last 2 level ups. You figure that's got to back off some, right? Some. Especially with his next level up going to Classics. I don't see him getting a drastic increase in that department that's going to pick up his 77 rating somehow, as a sprinter especially. I think his next level, going back to sprinting, depending on how many points he gets cobble, would then potentially pick him up out of this 77 realm. But we want to get that 67 cobbled rating over 70 so that he's balanced and can do a lot of things with that hill rating, with that acceleration, 76 stamina. You piece that together with a 70 plus cobble, he'll be able to get through a whole lot of things for us. He's kind of our jack of all trades going forward. Gazzoli, it'd be nice to see him level up again, hit 77, because that will add to that security piece. And realistically, Rodriguez is the only one leveling up right now, so he must have a very high potential. Of course, we never know exactly what it is, but his 5.8 has got to be pretty far up there if in just over one season he's done this. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.